At the beginning of the movie we are shown a scene of several tactical troops carrying out a rescue mission, where the tactical squad was assigned to catch a hitman called the Ghost. But suddenly there was a mysterious figure who secretly killed the tactical troops one by one. The scene then shifts to a little girl named Sachi who is walking alone in the drizzle. In the middle of his journey she found a cat that had died because it was hit by a car. Out of pity, Sachi took the cat to a beach to bury it. After that, Sachi went to a mini-market to meet his uncle, Toshiro. Sachi himself no longer has parents, so all this time Toshiro was the one who took care of him. Every evening they always go to Mori's stall to eat and have fun. In the middle of the night Toshiro suddenly remembered his past, namely when he was a member of the Ghost. Previously, Toshiro was a member of the Special Forces who was known for his prowess in fighting. To calm his mind, he took antidepressant medication and then went to the shop where he worked. But there, Toshiro still remembers his past, and surprises one of the shop customers with his behavior. Toshiro tries to consult a psychiatrist about the complaints he has been feeling lately. Then he said that he dreamed of killing many people, but when he woke up, he could still smell the blood. One day, while Toshiro was working, suddenly a customer came and immediately pointed a knife and asked him for some money. Because he didn't want to fuss, Toshiro gave them money, then he replaced it with the money in his wallet. The scene shifts to Toshiro and Sachi who are visiting their friend Ken, who is currently in the hospital. Ken is Toshiro's best friend. He was injured as a result of helping Toshiro when they were still Special Forces or members of the Ghost.
今毎日暇なんで。
ケンジ、お前ゲイじゃねえよな。
On his way home from the hospital, Toshiro felt that someone was following him. Feeling that the situation was in danger, Toshiro told Sachi to go home first. And sure enough, when he was looking for the person following him, suddenly a woman was about to attack Toshiro from behind. But luckily, it didn't stop there. It turned out that someone was still trying to shoot him, but again Toshiro easily finished off that person. In the evening at a tavern we are shown a man named Phantom, who instructs his subordinate named Casper to hunt down the Ghost or Toshiro. It turns out that this Phantom is a former general who created this international crime organization, of which Toshiro is one of the best members. And the reason Phantom hunted Toshiro was because 3 years ago Toshiro committed betrayal, after learning that Phantom kidnapped children to be trained to become criminals. Not only that, Toshiro also took one of the children and cared for him until now. Who else if not Sachi? Meanwhile, Toshiro, who was eating with Sachi at the Mori stall, suddenly felt a second threat. He said goodbye to Sachi and went to the shop where he worked. On the way, Toshiro is attacked by Phantom's men whose appearance is not at all suspicious. Long story short, when he arrived at the shop, Toshiro was again visited by Phantom's men, who were now disguised as health workers. However, Toshiro, who has a quick killing technique, finally managed to defeat them all. A few hours later, Toshiro was visited by two men, but this time they were not Phantom's men, but Ken's men who were assigned to help Toshiro. Knowing that today he was being hunted, Toshiro went to the public telephone to call Sachi that he had extra work. However, as soon as he arrived at the public telephone, Toshiro was again attacked by a woman who was also Phantom's subordinate. After killing the woman, Toshiro contacted Sachi and asked her to stay at Mori's house for one day. Toshiro then went to meet Ken to ask about the experiences of the two people he sent who would help him. Ken then told Toshiro that the man with long curly hair was named Max. He was an experienced veteran. While the other is still an amateur, his name is mshorror. After getting this information, Toshiro said goodbye to Ken and went to meet Max and mshorror, who were making sharp weapons. Where Toshiro will use this weapon against the phantom troops. Then Mori tells Toshiro that Sachi is missing. He has lost Sachi, but Toshiro calmly replies that currently Sachi is with him. Max and mshorror, who were there, were confused because they didn't see Sachi at all. It turns out that Sachi had been taken by Toshiro and kept safe. The next day the three of them made a plan to attack the phantom base, which was located in the middle of the forest. Max and mshorror will infiltrate through the side, while Toshiro will attract the attention of Phantom's men who are on guard. When they heard the number of Phantom's men consisting of hundreds of tactical troops, Max and mshorror lost their confidence. But as a true leader, Toshiro immediately said that excessive adrenaline would make you afraid. So don't let that fear control you. Because a fighter must be able to overcome his fear. In the end, this motivation succeeded in making them confident again. They started to take action by killing Phantom's men one by one. To attract the Phantom tactical troops, Toshiro fired his gun upwards so that their attention was focused on him. A moment later, tactical troops arrived, but Toshiro managed to finish them all off. Meanwhile, Max and mshorror, with their weapons, shot at the tactical troops very brutally. In the midst of the battle, a mysterious man, namely Beast Walker, is seen, who intervenes to finish off Phantom's men. However, his real goal is to hunt down Toshiro and finish him off. Meanwhile, mshorror, who has split up with Max, meets Casper. Finally they fought. Even though Casper was only a small child, his abilities were superior to mshorror's, until finally mshorror was killed at the hands of Casper. Then here is Toshiro, who is still fighting the tactical troops without any injuries at all on his body. He managed to fight all the tactical troops, as well managed to avoid the bullets aimed at his body. Next, it's Casper's turn to face Toshiro. However, because Casper was not Toshiro's opponent, he ended up finishing Casper very easily. When Casper was about to die, he tried to detonate the bomb that was installed in his body. Toshiro immediately cut the bomb cable so that Casper couldn't detonate it. After that, Toshiro immediately met Max and told him to go in first, while he will finish off the Phantom tactical troops that are still there outside. After defeating them, Toshiro meets a Beast Walker who challenges Toshiro to a fight. However, Toshiro ignores the Beast Walker and prefers to go to headquarters to save Sachi. Inside, Toshiro returns to fight against Phantom's men. Until finally Toshiro managed to find Sachi, who was still healthy. But Toshiro again has to leave Sachi, because Toshiro has to end this problem by defeating his boss, Phantom. Toshiro then went to another room and faced dozens of Phantom's men. In the middle of the battle, Toshiro meets the Beast Walker again. And Toshiro was forced to finally decide to fight the Beast Walker. Both of them look equally great at carrying out attacks. However, Toshiro, who has a vision of goodness, finally manages to defeat the Beast Walker. Some time after defeating the Beast Walker, Toshiro finally met Phantom. Phantom then uses restless whispers which make Toshiro hypnotized by them. That's when Phantom took the opportunity to finish off Toshiro using a dagger. But when the dagger stuck to Toshiro's neck, Toshiro realized and immediately killed Phantom with a very fast movement. But even so, Toshiro's movements actually caused his neck to be scratched by the Phantom's dagger. And finally Toshiro experienced bleeding, then died. The next day Sachi and Max went to the beach where Sachi buried Toshiro's memories in the form of a notebook. From this we can conclude that they both know that Toshiro really died in his last fight. But as soon as Max and Sachi leave the beach, we are shown a man smoking. And it turns out he is Toshiro, who is still alive. And the movie is over. Thank you for watching. Look forward to the next video.